Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mindy again, and today we're going to be talking about ENFPs and INTJ. So how does the ENFP helps the INTJ? What is the one thing or a couple of things that the INTJ really values of their interaction when in a relationship, friendship or marriage or any sort with an ENFP? So that's the subject of today. Before I start, I want to remind you that you can treat me to coffees if you enjoy my content, if you come here weekly to see me. So you can go and check the link below. It's like a sort of tip that you're giving me so you can help me to buy coffees. You support my work as well. And now I also have my Patreon page that you can go and check out right now, where you will get little extra content here and there. So make sure you check it out. And also for one-on-one sessions with me, where I can help you to look at the problems and your development through the lenses of an MBTI or other subjects. Please go and check out the information below. All right, so let's dive in. How does the ENFP helps the INTJ? All right, this has one very name, and the name of this is extroverted intuition. The extroverted intuition is what really helps the INTJ. So we both know that we all know that these two types, both types are intuitives and dominant intuitives. So they're both future-oriented people, and they look at the big picture, both of them, but they do slightly different things with it. So the INTJ will look at the patterns and come up soon after with the decision kind of soon, like, okay, this is what I want to do with these patterns. Like this is the path I need to take. This is where I want to go. This is what I see that I need to get out of this, you know? The ENFP, on the other hand, would say like, wow, this is a path, this is another path, this is another path, this is a way, this is another way, and this is another way. So they will see at all of the many different opportunities and things and situations that can derive from what they're looking at. You know, it's like pure intuition and pure, you know, like you can say abstract kind of thinking. Both types do the same. All right. So the ENFP would come up with a bunch of ideas. It's like a brainstorm. They would look at the situation from ways that the INTJ did not look at it before, you know? Yes, it's true. All that I say in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, go and look it up. It's 3 things that INTJs like of ENFPs. Yes, the INTJs will enjoy very much that the ENFP are like this, very happy, and that they are very unexpected kind of, and they have this zest for life and they're happy, all of that. That's true. But at the very core, they appreciate that, but they just love it when the ENFP comes up to them and say like, okay, you're working on this and you're doing that, but hey, have you noticed that there is also this possibility, or there is also this thing, how you can do it? So they will look at the thing that the INTJ is very much looking at with one focus, because they already look at all of the patterns and they thought, okay, this is it. And the ENFP would actually, how I see it, is would keep looking at the big picture all the time, you know? And that makes these two a very good pairing, actually, because whenever the ones can look at all of the different variations and how the idea is actually merging and developing and twisting and moving of all that big picture, that and I can focus on one and make things actually happen. So I think that's what really is a good dynamic. But anyhow, the brainstorming part will be something that the INTJ will value, and it's not something only that happens, let's say, within the context of a job. Or no, it can be with anything, you know. Let's say that the INTJ had a situation or a problem with a colleague or with another person, and there is this issue happening, and then the INTJs, of course, they will start with the big picture, right? And then they will narrow down. They will always do that. And the ENFP will expand and will keep coming up with, but what if this person did that because of this reason? You haven't thought that maybe this could happen. You could have said this in that way. They took it that way. So the ENFP will come up with so many options and things that could have happened within that interaction that are only ideas. No, there is like things that under the values of the INTJ are pretty much spot on. So that makes them think further. That makes them feel like, okay, this is, yeah, there is something that I didn't look at. So this is the aha moment that comes from that interaction with the ENFP from the INTJ point of view perspective. It's like the ENFP gives these inputs of ideas and way of looking at things that they didn't before, that it's so valuable. And this is not something that happens with every person for the INTJs. INTJ does not have that. The INTJ, many people see them as snobbish, or yeah, that's the name, because they think like they know it all, kind of. I don't know if I agree with that 100%, but I've heard other people saying that. Instead, the INTJ, I think, would listen carefully, or would pay attention carefully to whom they listen to. And the ENFP is one of the people that they will listen to because they see a lot of value in that extroverted intuition. And I think the same applies to the ENTP as well. Okay, this video is about ENFP and INTJ. And another thing that the INTJ values of the ENFP is their positivism when they are negative. I think that INTJs falls often into this negativity kind of. I don't know why is it, but like that. But I can see that happens often. So the INTJ can get fixated, maybe because of this focus that they have. They can really focus on one thing, and then they tend to see the negative part, not only of the things, you know, also of people, situations. And the ENFP, because of the NE, again, it's the NE what's really the asset here. Because of the NE, the ENFP will always find a way to see the positive in the negative. I think that is just a quality of who the ENFP is. I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm an ENFP myself. And whenever I have a situation that pulls me down, that breaks my heart, that is the end of the world, that happens. But that doesn't last long, because there is always the moment in which my brain comes out of that introverted sensing moment, that is my stressful moment, and then my natural self, the extroverted intuition, would take over, and then I would start just getting insights. It's not that I try, it just happens. I get insights of how this situation, let's say this terrible, I don't know, let's say end of a job or end of a relationship, how terrible it is, and it seems like the end of the world, but then the extroverted intuition would do its work to twist it around, and you start having like a shower of ideas or vision of how things could turn out. So I think this nature of the ENFP, that they do not try, that it just happens, makes them a very positive kind of driven people, because we can see at all of the future outcomes, we can see all of the spectrum of the possibilities, and because of our introverted feeling and extroverted thinking, we can choose, okay, you know, I can say, for instance, personally, like I'm a positive person. I feel like I'm a positive person. I want to stick to like being a positive person. This enhances my life, doesn't my introverted feeling. So I'm gonna choose to look at the situation this way, extroverted thinking. And so the outcome is always like, okay, you know, I was having a bad time and I had a horrible 2-3 weeks or a month or a day, or I don't know. But in the end, I could see the glimpses of all of the different possibilities, and I choose to go for the positive one because that's what feels the best, and what's make me feel best. That's what always brings the best outcome. And so the ENFP lives according to these values. I've seen that with other ENFPs as well. And when the ENFP interacts with other individuals, including the INTJ, therefore they will bring this asset with them. And so whenever the INTJ is going through a problem themselves, or whenever they cannot see the solution to this software they're building or whatever, like, we'll always find a way to look at the situation in a positive way. I cannot tell you how that happens, but it just happens. And so if we're looking at the situation of another person and we see the clear potential that it can also turn into a positive thing, not only the negative thing that the INTJ is looking at, we would just say like, hey, it can turn out well, you know, or maybe this person was meaning right, or anything along those lines would be would be what we will provide to the INTJ, and the INTJ would take it as, wow, this is, I didn't see it that way. So I think it's always about this extroverted intuition to zoom it up and to grab this app. It's the extroverted intuition that makes the ENFP and the INTP as well to look at the situations from different point of views, to have this constant sort of brainstorming. And because of our introverted feelings, so we will filter through and choose the most positive ones, because that's our course, you know, unicorns, the super fairies and all that. Oh, well, that's true. So I hope this could help. Again, if you have any situation that you would like to discuss with me, to get my help, my point of view, I have one-on-one sessions, so make sure that you check the links below. Please buy me a coffee if you enjoy my content. You will support me to keep doing this, which I pretty much love doing, and I love reading your comments, so please leave them below. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.